I helped a client pay off almost $100,000 in credit card debt through a cash out refinance. They were saving thousands of dollars a month because they tapped into their equity, borrowed lower interest debt to pay off high interest debt that was revolving, that was like in the 20% range. Cash out refinances can be a powerful tool, but if not used correctly, you could be paying a lot more than you probably should. My name's Ben, and in this video, we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of cash out refinances, how you can use them effectively, and things to look out for when you're thinking about taking a cash out refinance. So let's define first what a cash out refinance is. It's a new loan where you're going to, let's say you owe $100,000 on your house and your home is worth $500,000. So you have plenty of equity, that's great. You wanna borrow, let's say $100K against your home. So what that means is in that equity that you've built up over time, you could take that equity, roll it into your new loan. So if you wanna borrow 100 grand, and your loan amount currently is 100, your new loan amount is going to be 200 plus closing costs, so let's say 210. So now you have a new loan amount of 210, and basically you got funds for 100K that came from your house. And then you can use that 100K if you're borrowing from your primary residence for whatever you want to do. So what people commonly use cash out refinances for and why they're so beneficial is the first thing is credit card consolidation. Right now, we have just passed I think we have the record for the highest credit card debt in the country currently, which is over 1 trillion. So I don't think the debts have ever been this high for credit cards. So we've just passed 1 trillion. Over 80% of US citizens have at least one credit card. And so one way to tap into that is you can take cash out from your home to pay off credit card debt. Another reason that people use cash out refinances a common one is home improvement. So you could fix up your home to prepare it to sell, or fix up your home because you just want a nicer kitchen or a better bathroom, right? Another great tool to use equity from a cash out refinance is you could buy an investment property. And so a lot of people do this where they built up equity over time. They find a home or they find a multi-unit building that they want to invest in and they want to have a down payment or reserves, whatever the case may be. They could use a cash out refinance from their home, take that equity, and then go buy the next property. That is how a lot of people are building wealth currently if you can find the right deal. Now, let's talk about the potential drawbacks to a cash out refinance. We covered that it can pay off debt, it can give you a loan, it can give you cash to buy a new boat, to do home improvements in your house, and that's great. But some of the drawbacks is depending on the term that you're currently have. So like you might have 10 years left on your mortgage. And so sometimes people reset all the way back to 30-year mortgage because they want the lowest payment. Now keep in mind that there are mortgage programs that we have that are 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30-year mortgage. I mean, heck, you can even do a 27-year mortgage or a 23-year mortgage too if the payments make sense. So you want to talk to your loan officer or your lender to make sure like, okay, does this make sense for me to go back on a 30-year mortgage long term? Sometimes it might. Like you're like, hey, I don't care. I might sell this house in a year or two. There's no prepayment penalties on these loans, so you could take a cash out refinance and then sell it off in 2 years, sell the home, or refinance again if you want a lower interest rate or do a 15-year mortgage. There's just a lot of options. It really depends. So that's one of the caveats is you might reset and then you're gonna have to pay 30 years worth of interest if you actually stay and pay that 30-year mortgage off. So while accessing equity might provide current relief, sometimes there's closing costs and fees that are associated with it that might not make sense. Now typically for a lot of the clients that I've been able to help, with all the debt that we're paying off, generally it makes sense because the debt that you're paying off has so much interest, it's like crazy. And so the closing costs and fees make up for how much money you're saving a month and the back end interest that you would have been paying if you kept the credit card debt or whatever other debt you may have. Sometimes if you want to renovate a bathroom or kitchen, just be cognizant of that. Like what are the terms associated and the fees associated with the loan, and your lender will go over that with you as well. Before you dive headfirst into a cash out refinance, another thing you want to consider is what are your long-term financial plans or your long-term financial goals, right? Are you comfortable taking on additional debt? How will this decision impact your overall financial picture? These are questions that I would say you need to ask yourself if you're thinking about getting into a cash out refinance. There are very effective vehicles to pay off debt, to renovate your house. You want to make sure, hey, what am I getting into, right? And where do I want to go long term? So to wrap things up, cash out refinances can be a game changer. And if you're in the right financial position, people leverage them all the time, even in a higher interest rate market, because the interest rate on your mortgage most certainly will be lower than the credit card debt that you have or whatever other things you have if you're considering paying off debt. And then of course, if you want to renovate your house or buy a boat, whatever the case may be, sometimes that's still a cheaper loan than borrowing directly with whatever vehicle you want to purchase or whatever the case may be. By weighing pros and cons and consulting though with a mortgage loan advisor, they're going to be able to help you look at the whole picture and understand with full transparency, or at least they should be fully transparent on, okay, what are you getting into and does this make sense financially? Well, that's a wrap on the pros and cons to cash out refinances. I hope this was of some value. If you have any questions, we've helped hundreds of families take cash out of their homes to do various different projects or pay off loads of debt. So if you want to learn more about that, reach out to my team and I. We'd love to help you out. My name's Ben. Thanks for watching.